To awaken Magneto's latent powers, Shaw pointed a gun at him and gave him an ultimatum: move the coin on the table within 3 seconds, or his mother would die. Magneto tried with all his might, but the coin didn't budge. As the countdown hit 0, Shaw pulled the trigger and killed his mother. In that instant, Magneto was consumed by rage and grief. His telekinetic energy surged, crushing a bell with sheer force. He wanted to kill Shaw right then and there, but his control over metal was still weak. He couldn't avenge his mother. Instead, he unleashed his fury on 2 soldiers wearing steel helmets, crushing their skulls in seconds. Shaw was thrilled by Magneto's awakening and admired his potential. As a token, he handed him the very coin that had failed to move. After World War II, Shaw mysteriously vanished, while Magneto grew up haunted by pain and vengeance. For 18 years, he trained relentlessly, mastering his powers. Now, he was ready. He wanted to kill Shaw himself and avenge his mother. Following a trail of clues, Magneto tracked down 2 soldiers who had worked with Shaw. Against the master of magnetism, they stood no chance. After extracting Shaw's whereabouts, Magneto killed them without hesitation. Meanwhile, Shaw was orchestrating a plan to ignite World War III. He invited Colonel Henry to a private club, hoping to convince him to support launching nuclear missiles toward Turkey at an upcoming military summit. Henry refused, knowing such an act would trigger global conflict. To pressure him, Shaw had Riptide unleash a tornado that hurled Henry across the room. Then came the White Queen, a telepath who amplified Henry's fear and could even transform her body into diamond, making her immune to psychic attacks. Faced with overwhelming threats, Henry reluctantly agreed. What Shaw didn't know was that Agent Moira Rose had witnessed everything. She rushed to report it to her superior, but he dismissed her claims and scolded her. After all, Colonel Henry was supposedly in the meeting room at that very moment. What the superior didn't realize was that Shaw's ally, Azazel, had the power to teleport. Within minutes, Azazel had transported Henry to the summit, where he cast the decisive vote to deploy nuclear weapons in Turkey. Knowing he was no longer useful, Henry pulled out a grenade to threaten Shaw, but Shaw had no intention of letting him live. He snatched the grenade, pulled the pin, and absorbed the entire blast. The energy not only kept Shaw youthful, it also gave him the ability to unleash devastating power. Elsewhere, desperate to prove herself, Agent Rose sought out Charles Xavier, a researcher of mutant abilities. Using his telepathy, Charles quickly accessed Rose's memories. Fascinated by the existence of mutants, he agreed to help and began working with the CIA. That very night, Magneto followed a lead to a yacht scene in an old photo. Just as he stepped onto the deck, ready to confront Shaw, the White Queen sensed his presence through telepathy. She launched a psychic attack, flooding Magneto's mind with unbearable pain. He hurled a dagger, but it was deflected, and in a flash, Magneto was knocked off the ship.